In this video we're going to look at the Excel 2010 interface in just a little bit more detail. So we're going to look at, for example, using the ribbon, a little bit more detail on the backstage view, also shortcut menus that we get when we right click somewhere, and also dialog boxes. So to start with, let's look at using the ribbon. This is the ribbon up the top here, and it's got lots of different tabs on the top, and you can have a look through all of the tabs and see what sort of commands are available. Those commands are sorted into groups. Okay, so I've got a group here for font, a group for alignment, one for number, one for styles, and so forth. Okay, so we can have a look and see what sort of commands we have and how they're grouped. We can use any of these commands just by clicking on them. There's also another way. You can use your keyboard if you prefer. So if I hold down, if I press the Alt key, you'll notice a bunch of letter labels comes up, one for each tab. So if I want to go, for example, to the Insert tab, I can click, or I can press N, and it opens up that one. Now beneath the Insert one there's lots of other labels. So if I wanted to insert a table, I'd press T, and now I come up with a table dialog. So all of the commands on the ribbon can be accessed either by the mouse or the keyboard. Now the ribbon is a very useful thing, but sometimes it just takes up a bit too much room for us. If you need all of that room, you can minimize the ribbon by double clicking on it. So if I point to the Active tab and double click, it hides the ribbon. If I want to see anything in any one of these ribbon tabs, I can just click there, and then when I click away it will hide again. If I want to maximize the ribbon again permanently, double click and it's maximized again. Okay, so it's a very flexible thing to work with the ribbon. Let's move along and have a little bit of a look at the backstage view, which is on the File tab. So if I click on the File tab, it opens up my backstage view. I'm looking now at recent documents or recent workbooks that have been opened, so I could open any of those. I could save, so if I click on Save, it will give me the option of where to save my workbook. This is because this is a new workbook and it hasn't been saved before, so I have to tell Excel where to save it and what the file name is, and then I can click Save. Now the next time I save that same workbook, it would just save there and it wouldn't ask me again. If I do want to put it somewhere different, instead I would go to File, Save As, and then I'd get that same dialog up again as I just got. Other options we've got are obviously to close the Excel workbook to open a new one. To get information about this one, such as the properties, we can look at who's got permissions. We can prepare to share this workbook. So there's lots of options on the backstage view. We can open a new workbook. There's printing options. If we click on print, we can set all of our printer options there. You can also save in particular ways using save and send. So I can send somebody a copy of this worksheet or this workbook using email, either as a normal attachment, that is an Excel attachment, or I can send it as a PDF or XPS, other file formats. I can also save it to the web, which normally means sending it to a Microsoft SkyDrive account or something similar to that. I can also save it to a SharePoint portal if I have one of those. So there's lots of options in save and send that we can use as well. Moving back to the Home tab, just mentioning now shortcut menus. Wherever you click or right click in a workbook, you'll get a shortcut menu. So if I click down here, I get this shortcut menu, and where I click gives me a different menu. So if I click in the cells, this is the sort of menu I get. If I had a chart in here, I'd get a different menu when I right click. If I have a table, I'll get a different menu. If I click on the column headings, I get a different menu. The row headings, again, just slightly different menu. If I click up here in the ribbon, I get a different menu again. So it's context sensitive. It is different depending on where you click. Finally, for this video, I'm going to mention dialog boxes. So a dialog box gives you lots of power to add commands or possibly multiple commands at once. To see this in action, I'd get you to type your name, press enter, and then go back and click on that cell again. Now we're going to use the font dialog box. If you look at the dialog box launcher, which is the little icon down the bottom right hand corner here, click on that one and it opens up the font dialog box. Okay, so it's actually the Format Cells dialog box. It's on the Font tab. So I can choose to bold it, change its size, put some sort of effect on it, underline it, change its color, all in one go. So dialog boxes give you a lot of power to use in one go. Click on OK, and we can see the result. So that's it for this video. Just wrapping up, we've had a look at how to use the ribbon, also the backstage view, shortcut menus, and dialog boxes.